Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Rose.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
We are here with our reaction and review for A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Season 1, Episode 6. We've made it, guys. We've made it to the end of this season. It is fair for all of us to be crying for a multitude of different reasons. I cried for the first time watching a television show, and I don't know, a good year at the end of this episode.
I mean, this was such an emotional episode. And then we're also left with this big question of why did Egg lie again? And it's such a big lie and an interesting lie because Dunk just went on trial for a couple of things, and one of them was taking Egg, and then Egg is gonna lie and go off with him again. Like, he almost just died for this.
That's the perfect way to describe the just amalgam of emotions I felt in the final minutes of this episode. I go from crying my eyes out, which is a
Yes.
lot for me. I have very dry eyes. I do not cry often, to then being shocked and upset.
Shocked.
I didn't know if this is just about me or if it's just they did such a good job on this show making me feel like Egg legitimately had a conversation with Makar. Everything was just sort of settled, but I really did not think we were being set up for a post-credits lying reveal.
Listen, I feel like I should have seen it coming. I mean,
too.
we've seen Egg lie to Dunk a lot, not for nefarious reasons. He wants to be with Dunk and he doesn't want to be with his family and he believes in Dunk, and those are all great things, but he lies a lot. I mean, he even lied a few scenes before he lied here where Dunk was like, "Were you eavesdropping?" Nope. Straight nope. No even kind of like tripping over his words. He is a seasoned liar at this point, but he really, really wants to be with Doug. I was just really shocked by it because Egg did just watch him go through this trial. People are dead. Dunk should be dead by all intents and purposes, but made it out alive, and then is gonna lie to him and go off with him again for one of the crimes that he already committed and has now had this trial over. It was really shocking. Like, I know deep in Egg's heart, he is not a bad kid at all. He just really, really wants to be with Doug.
Here is the big question then. Is Egg the most likable liar on all of TV? Like,
Yes.
he is the most likable
Yes.
liar for me ever since Dr. Will Kirby on Big Brother 2. He could just
Egg better.
he's just so endearing, and I think this is why I knew this show was probably going to be good going into it. I had no idea it was going to be this good. I mean, I would say it's a big statement that this is my favorite show of the year so far, but it's only mid-February. I know there's a lot of the year left, but this is set a really big bar high for 2026.
No, it really has. And I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there debating on like, oh, is this better than House of the Dragon? House of the Dragon's better than this. It's okay to like both. And
Yes.
that's where I am with this. Like, these two shows don't feel the same. And I know that they're in the same universe,
Mhm.
but House of the Dragon feels very much like Game of Thrones. And this feels like its own thing. Yes, they're in that same universe, but it just doesn't feel the same as these other two shows. And that's totally fine. You can like them all.
All right, well, we have a lot to say here about the end of this season, where things are going moving into season 2, Eggs Lie, emotions, tears, so much more. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button because obviously House of the Dragon, as we've noted, is coming in June.
I have my greens on because I'm
yeah.
team green, even though Allison just like sold out her son.
Listen, Team Green
They're
is
so messy. I love them.
Team Green is unbelievably messy. Team Black, maybe they're more likely to win, but at the same time, I also feel like they're more likely to just completely annihilate each other at the same time. And this is why rooting for Team Black is also rooting for disaster. But this has been our position on House of the Dragon for a good while now. We're so excited for June to come around because we will be here to break all of it down.
Absolutely. And if you want to help support us further, you can join our memberships here on YouTube. We are currently covering Hijack Season 2
Mhm.
and Monarch Legacy of Monsters. It is coming up
Yes.
very, very, very soon, February 27th. So be sure to check that out as well. We're going to have that for our memberships only.
Mhm.
And we are also looking ahead to be covering The Boys, the final season, on our memberships as well. We're huge fans of that show. So thank you so much to everyone who has joined our memberships.
Thank you guys. We very, very much appreciate that. Let's just continue the conversation here about Egg's lie and why he did it, because it is this huge, enormous game changer for everything. Because the obvious ramifications of this, as set up by that post credit scene, is
Mhm.
that now you've got Makar who's out there going to be wondering what in the world happened to his son. And one of the two gut punching moments of this episode was listening to Makar at one point say, I'm paraphrasing, but this is the only son I have left, which was really heartbreaking. A dagger, also a sign that as delusional as Makar is, he's not completely delusional. He knows that Daron is off either dreaming or drinking, and then Arion enough said.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that conversation, it really hit. I mean, Egg did go through all the right steps to try to make this
Mm-hmm.
happen. And while Magar was like, okay, yes, I'm gonna let this happen, but you have to stay here in Summerhall. I have to be able to still have my son here with me. And he does make it clear that, yeah, I got a pile of sons, but I didn't do that great with some of the other ones. So I really need to make this one count,
Yeah.
and I feel like I can. And I understand that from a parent's perspective. If you've got, a bunch of kids, and you go, oh man, this one's off doing this one thinks he's the dragon, like, and now I have this one, and this one still is, a good guy. I feel like that I can really do something here, that he doesn't want to let him go. Dunk on the other side is like, no, listen, like, your other sons that have stayed here, you know how they have turned out. I would like to teach him another way. I want to teach him the way that I was taught. That's a no. They are at an impasse. So I understand why Egg got to where he got to, but it's still really shocking because of the trial that just happened. Some of it was based on, Egg's brother's lie that, oh, he was kidnapped, he was taken by this guy. And now this is going to happen where, Mekar said no, and Dunk said, okay, no
Yeah.
problem. And he's still left with him.
I think this is why A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is such a banger, because this is family drama we typically only see on, I don't know, This Is Us or Parenthood or one of these other family based primetime soaps, right? Where you have someone in Makar who's had failure after failure, but because his head is still so far up, where, he can't see the forest through the trees. He still feels like, I got this, when clearly you don't got this. You've also still got your other sons around who are terrible influences. And then Egg, as wise and as smart and as sage like as he looked in that hat through a lot of this episode, I mean, the drip on this kid is next level. Great costume work. But it
He's
just,
so cute.
he is also still a kid. And the thing with
Yes.
kids is that when you are 10, 11, 12, you lie a lot. And sometimes it's out of insecurity. Sometimes it's because you want to feel special. And some other times it's because you just think it's easier. And I think
Mhm.
Egg feels like this is easier than what I would probably have to do otherwise, which he may not have ever been able to do in the first place. He may have sort of recognized, all right, you know what? Makar's never going to let me do this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I'm not going to think about the consequences of what's going to happen to me, or perhaps more importantly, what's going to happen to Dunk, because Makar is probably not as likely to do something to his own son as he is this other person who he could just claim has taken his son now.
Absolutely. And he will be able to build a case on that. He is not going to take it out on his sort of last chance son here. If it ends up that they actually figure out where he is and where they're going and all of this type of stuff. I mean, at this point, going into the next season, is it going to be this huge search for Egg, or is he just going to sit back and realize what has happened and just let it happen?
I think he needs to just let it go.
I don't think he will. Now, we haven't read the books,
Yeah.
but he does not strike me as the type of man who's just going to be like, you know what? This one's lying to me. This one wanted to take my son out of here because I'm a crappy father. I'm just going to let all this happen. I feel like his ego is not going to let that happen.
Here's the thing, Makar. I can be your therapist. Actually, I'm not a therapist, but if the Targaryens just had therapy, wouldn't you just think the entire Game of Thrones timeline probably wouldn't happen?
Maybe.
They're just all so unbelievably messed up. But no, I do agree. I think Makar is going to be out there looking relentlessly. I think the thing about Dunk is that he's the sort of guy who's just going to go about his business. I don't necessarily think Dunk's going to ride into every single town in Westeros, head down to Dorne, be like, hey, look, everybody, I'm Sir Duncan the Tall. I don't think he's going to be making this huge name for himself eventually, but we all know there are all these little birds around this Game of Thrones universe, and we say this
Mhm.
before Varys is even a prominent part. Word gets around.
Absolutely. We've seen in all iterations of the show that there are
Yes.
always people that are collecting secrets and selling secrets.
Now, I will say this episode in totality, the first 10 or so minutes of it, I will say for a show that's only 28, 29 minutes, it was a little bit slow at first. But I think a lot of that just kind of came down, at least to me, to the feeling of, all right, I feel like this season's not going to end with Dunk and Egg not going off with each other. I haven't read the books. Jess hasn't read the books, but I know that they're called the Dunk and Egg novellas, and you can't really call them that if Egg is not continuously with Dunk.
Yeah, I felt like they did a really good job, even though, yeah, it felt a little bit slow at times, but it felt really important in the way that they were building this up to get to the point that Egg was going to tell this lie. That really Egg did go through all the right channels to try to make this happen, talking to Makar, talking to Dunk, them talking to each other. He just couldn't make it happen, and that needed time to breathe.
Yeah, it did, and it also we did need time to listen to all of these other offers. This became very Shark Tank esque at a point with Dunk, where you had your guy Sir Lionel out here being like, "All right, Dunk, I will give you 20% of this partnership. You come with me. We go to Storm's End. We have a good time. You have Sir Raymond Fossolet. We're suddenly getting into green apple versus red apple. Thank you guys to everybody in the comments for last week for explaining all of this to me. It just, we have all these different groups now who are vying for Dunk's attention. He is the belle of the ball, but he resists all of it.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that he resisted the Lionel one at all. I mean, they have gotten pretty close, and Lionel was right. One time's like, "Oh man, you should have a little more respect on Baylor's name. You know, he fought for me. You know, he put his life on the line for me." And I was like, "Man, I put my life on the line for you. Nobody was going to go after him. These are men that are sworn to protect him. Nobody is sworn to protect me. I put my life on the line along with these other guys, and I still want to ride off with you. So let's make that happen."
This is the biggest bummer of this show to me. And there's not very many bummers in here at all, but it's the idea that we had 6 incredibly high quality episodes with Sir
Yes.
Lionel. It felt like he scored 50 points in 5 minutes coming off the bench. I mean, this guy really delivered. I don't know if we're ever going to see him again.
Don't say, why are you
I'm
saying
saying
this?
it
Oh my
because
God.
I'm trying to prepare ourselves for this natural reality. I like Tansel. Tansel disappears halfway through the season. We might be losing Sir Lionel at this point. It's just this show is so catered around 2 people, and it's so interesting because we're so used to this greater Game of Thrones ecosystem where we see Bran maybe goes away for a season, and then we get a lot more. There's just 20 characters they're constantly balancing, and here it really just feels like we have the 2.
Okay, I'm going to make a weird comparison. It's going to be extra weird because I haven't read the Murderbot
Oh, right,
novels
let's do it.
either. But the first season of Murderbot had a group of people too that I was like, oh man, this person, that person, oh, I love everybody. And then spoilers, Murderbot goes off on his own, and I don't think we're going to see any of these people anymore because this is really about the adventures of him, is what it feels like going into the next season. And that's what it feels like here as well. That while I really enjoyed seeing Sir Lionel, and I really enjoyed him, what a great character.
Yeah.
I think we may see him in the future again, but I do not think that it's going to be next season.
Yeah, these are just people we can all kind of keep in the back of our minds a little bit here, and we know that this is heavily based on George R. Martin's material to the point where there's a lot of interviews out there about it. I will stand up on the soapbox right now and say, I know that there's a lot of discourse out here about everything Game of Thrones related that is not directly, almost word for word, based on George R. Martin is not good. I still feel like you can deviate here and there and make it good if you have the right plan. I have a lot of trust in Ira Parker based on these 6 episodes. I still think they're going to stay true to the source material, but there's also only 3 Duncan Egg novellas. I know he's gotten synopses of other ones, but if we're going to have 20 seasons of this, which is very much my dream, he's going to need to make some stuff up.
Okay, listen, he has done a wonderful job, but please stop apologizing for like leaving out one thing or leaving out this sentence or like this has been such a great show.
Yeah.
Stand by your work. Everybody loves it because it is delicious. It has been such a wonderful season.
Yeah.
There's all passes, all A's. Like it's been very weird to see the showrunner out here going on like an apology tour of the smallest things that he does not need to be saying I'm sorry about. He has stuck to the novellas like so close that if like one sentence is left out, he's gonna be like, I apologize. I'm like, oh my god, guy, it's gonna be okay. Just take a breath. We're all with you.
My favorite Ira Parker apology was him apologizing for the flashbacks in episode 5 because they tied up so perfectly. I did think the flashbacks went on a little long, but the whole get up and sort of giving us the past to the present, that would have not worked if those flashbacks were not there. So I am.
Yes, it worked. It worked so well. Stop apologizing, my dude.
At first, I was an Ira Parker defender on all of this, where I was just like, go off, you humble king. But then once I saw the 3rd apology, I was just like, all right, you know what, Jess, you're right. He just needs to stop this.
No, stand by your work. It is excellent. We all are really enjoying it.
All right.
Because I'm sure you're watching the video.
Yes, and we very much appreciate your viewership, Ira. Okay, let's get into tier corner here, because I have to discuss the final sequence here of... First, it was honoring Penny Tree, and we got the lore of the Penny Tree.
Oh, him hammering the penny into the tree. So good.
It already got me in a state of feeling supremely emotional. But then, this final shot, that's one of my favorite shots of the entire Game of Thrones universe. The visual of this, the cinematographer, if I could give you a hug right now on the spot, I would. For this sequence... You've got Dunk and Egg riding off into the sunset together. You've got Arlen of Penny Tree. And then he drifts to the side. Oh, God, I'm going to start crying again saying it. But like, I think a lot, I don't know why, but this visual motif really appeals to me. Here is another comparison, much like you and Murderbot, that no one would probably expect, especially from me. I don't even like the Fast and the Furious movies all that much. I don't even really like Vin Diesel that much, but that one movie, I don't even know which movie it is. It's the one after Paul Walker unfortunately passed away, where they have this closing scene of one of them's driving in one way, the other one's driving forward. I can watch that. That Charlie Puth music just kicks in. I just start crying. And this was very, and I'll see you again coded. And I just got so unbelievably sad, and then it went straight into a Knight of the Nine Kingdoms title instead of 7. And I was just like, you sons of a... Yeah, I was so emotional, and they plucking me right out of it, and then they're plucking me right into this other thing with that. I could not contain myself.
That scene was so beautifully done. Now, I will say that while they did give a decent amount of the background with Arlen and Dunk, I wish that there had been more, so that for me, the scene was really impactful in a different way, where it was these two are now going off on their own adventures, and holding on to Arlen, that's no longer. He's not holding on to him anymore. He's able to sort of rest in peace, and Dunk is able to move forward in a new direction, looking at the new horizon sort of thing. it's making me feel like because they've done it this way that I'm not actually going to get any more backstory on Duncan Arlen, and I kind of wish that there was a little bit more. And I'm hoping, we haven't read the
Yeah.
novel, so I don't know, that there will be more of that in the next one. But that final scene made me feel like that is the end of that part of the story. Done.
I
Done, as my son would say. Done.
I don't disagree. And that's the funny thing about this is that this scene did like break me apart, but at the same time, you are right that they could have given us more Arlen. They could have built this up even more because
Just one more
yeah,
episode.
I still felt in the premiere, I sat back and I was really thinking, man, Arlen's not very nice to Dunk. And as it turns out, that was a little bit of a misread because it feels like Dunk really admired Arlen. And I was sort of on the outside looking in, being very judgy of the small amount of footage that they gave us. That maybe if they had presented a little bit more, I know
Mhm.
pretty much every person alive, us included, wishes there were either more episodes or longer episodes
Yeah,
here.
a little bit longer would have been fine too. Just a couple more scenes to really see those two either bonding or not bonding. And if they're not having that bond in a way that Dunk was like willing to throw down his life for Sir Arlen's, honor here at this point, like, why is it? Is it because he was an orphan and he sort of brought him in? Or was there actually a connection once he got in?
Yeah, it's something that if you do want to make season 2 longer, figure out a way to do this, I would be more than happy to see that return.
Let's have a prequel of Sir Arlen of Pennytree. I would totally watch that. I'm so curious how he got to where he is and what is going on. Are you even a real knight, sir? I don't even know.
I would love that too, especially because that actor who played Young Dunk, we didn't talk about him a lot in episode 5, but he was really good.
He was really
And he
good.
also looked just like a young Peter Claffey. Like the casting, I know the casting's been praised a lot for the present, but for the past at the same time, yeah, they absolutely could do a lot more there, especially because we had this scene in the finale where I actually thought that they were going to tell us the truth about whether or not a knighting really happened, what was happening here, and
Yeah,
we were going to see
we had the fake out.
it was the total fake out, and they did fake me out with this. It really felt like oh, you think we're going to give you a clear answer here?
Yeah,
No.
I was really curious. I felt like they were not going to, because even though we haven't read the books, you guys have mentioned in the comments that there's no real clear answer in the books
Mhm.
either. So I feel like with this showrunner going around being like, I apologize for everything that's not like exactly like the books, there was no way that they were going to give an answer if there isn't an answer in the books. That would be shocking.
If Ira had done that, he would have had to have delivered, one of those 10-minute YouTuber apology videos when
That's
somebody does
right.
something. He would have had to come on there, and actually probably would have been half an hour. Who am I kidding with the amount of apologizing he seems to do? But here is the good news on the other side of this finale.
Mhm.
Season 2 is actually being filmed right now. It does not feel like this is a House of the Dragon, well, too bad you're going to have to wait 2 years situation. I do think we are going to get to see season 2 next year.
I really hope so. I mean, I'm glad that they are filming right away. I mean, Dexter's a young guy. He
Yeah.
is sort of kind of at that age and he may grow up very quickly.
Yes.
So it's cool that they are recognizing that and that they're not going to come back and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Bran is an adult.
See, here we go.
What happened there?
Ira, apologies aside, I do agree with your plan here of doing several seasons, taking a break, coming back, doing several more, make this show
Yes.
for 30 years.
Happy to wait for it. I know a lot of people don't want to wait for shows anymore and I totally agree. Like, yes, it's why do we need to wait 3 years for Severance?
I know.
However, when it comes back and you get Severance season 2, I'm like, "Oh, that was worth the wait." I'm
Yes.
happy to wait.
Yeah.
Don't rush it and come out with like the Pit season 2.
Whoa.
Yo,
Here
I
we
said
go.
what I said.
Here we
It's good, but it's not as good as season 1. You should have taken more time.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, well, that is where we are coming out of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, season 1. Thank you guys for being with us
Thank
this
you.
season. Let us know your thoughts on this finale, which was just really outstanding in my mind. And yeah, hit that subscribe button. House of the Dragon is coming, and you can support us more by joining our memberships. We are covering Hijack, as Jess said earlier. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, Godzilla and King Kong
Oh,
on the way.
Kong.
No one loves Kong more than Jess loves
Oh,
Kong.
I love King Kong.
All right, thank you guys so much. We will see you here next time.